What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is here. Match preview time. It's Leeds United versus Manchester United. It's a big fixture, more so probably for the Leeds fans, but Man United care too.
Nah,
But
we
listen,
care, man.
you
Trust
care a
me.
lot. I know you care a lot. You still sing about, you all hate Leeds scum. I hear you in the
Yeah. Always. The Red
but
Army. Get it.
with me, I've got one of the best people that I know on YouTube, one of the funniest people without even knowing he's funny. It's Saeed from Saeed TV and also the Big Six Show. How you doing, Saeed?
Yeah, man. I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on, man. It's been a while, man. I think we started it like we did the last one. Maybe was it the one before the 6-0, or was it the one before the 0-0?
I think it was for the 0-0. I think we did a preview for the 0-0 draw of
Or
last
was it?
season. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay. Fair
I
enough.
think
Fair
so.
enough.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, just as you guys are coming in, you know the drill. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and subscribe to Saeed too. I'm about 10. I think I'm about 10 away from 4,000. So
Come on.
if you guys can find 10 people that are of good quality, get them to subscribe to the channel.
Come
But
on.
yeah, listen, we're going to talk Leeds Man United. I'm going to get the Man United perspective here from Saeed, who's obviously got a lot of thoughts.
Hmm.
I think Arsenal have got a all or nothing coming out this year, and I think Man United would have been an absolute quality addition this year with all the off-field drama that you guys have had. I think it's been
Crazy.
amazing all the stories. I mean, even just was it yesterday? Rashford
Yeah.
rubbishing another story. Give me
Yeah.
your perspective of all the leaks and the lack of cohesion in the dressing room right now, Saeed.
I think it's mad, because you know what it is, yeah. It's so like different to last year where everything was like rosy. Ollie had them like bubble wrapped. It made them feel like, there wasn't kind of any order, any kind of, it's just for me, like, it was almost like a playground. That's how I can, when you're let free as a kid, when you're in
Mhm.
school and that, and you're just told to do whatever you want. You know what I mean? That's what it was under Ollie. Now there's a bit of order now, and there's a bit of accountability. I think these players now have just flapped, and they've almost just kind of like felt as if there's a burden to play for Man United now. And it's crazy because for me, these players have been getting away with it a lot. Listen, I knew Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the right manager, but some of these players, thought they were bigger than him. Some of these players thought that they had no accountability. And now, because Ralph has come in and he's almost created this feeling of, what, everyone is there's no second chances. It's either you play well or you're off the team. And some of them, I believe, I've just not liked it. I've not liked his training methods, the fact that maybe they're staying for longer than they need to, the fact that they're working harder, what I mean? These kind of things, bro, like, they don't like it. I don't think they'll survive Bielsa. Imagine Bielsa's manager. I don't think they like Bielsa because I'm sure he's
No.
demanding as well.
Yeah, I mean it's a blessing and a curse. But what you're talking about hard work there, it kind of goes back to something that Ronaldo said a few weeks ago now, maybe it was a month ago. But just
Yeah.
in terms of some of those players not wanting to listen to somebody that's won like him, and I can definitely see that being the case with today's footballers. Like whereas he was listening to some of the oldest there, like Rio and all those guys back in the day, it just seems like they've made it now and they've played enough team games for the first team. Why do I need to listen to Cristiano Ronaldo? And you can
Mm,
kind of tell that kind of thing is going on there, isn't it?
mm. Yeah, 100%. And it is Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously, you know what I mean? It's been a crazy time since he's come here and whatnot. But he has, brought a winning mentality. And some of these lot, I've been thinking, well, we had it nice. Everything was going all right before he came here. There wasn't kind of, all this kind of discontent. There wasn't any fallouts. It was all right. It was all rosy. He's
Mm.
come in and now he's trying to think that he's, still the best player in the world, still thinks it's all about him. And I just feel like for me, you know, it's they needed that kick in the backside. They needed that kind of feeling of, what, you're not just going to be here at Man United. It's just going to be vibes. You're not just going to come here and expect to just, not have that kind of, mentality where you're not here coming here to win. You have to have that. And I think Ronaldo's come in and he's set a precedent. Whether he's coming in, he's a player is another, there's no question. But in terms of these players producing when it matters, they haven't been there this season, and
Yeah,
that's been the problem. So for us, you know what I mean. Like I said to you, these players now they've been exposed, and you know what I mean. I'd rather a season of them being exposed and then we get rid of them rather than what I mean. When you have that false positive, false dawn where you think and assume that
yeah.
everything's all rosy, and then reality is that it's not. So I'm glad that if it's been exposed to that. And we can hear these leaks now. The next one is going to be, who is these leaks? Who are these leaks? You know,
have you got your suspicions?
I think it's Maguire. I think it's Shaw.
Yeah,
I think it's the ones that are always tight together. McTominay is another one I think is. I think it'll be the British core because they're the ones that are kind of like mostly together all the time. You know, whereas the other lot, the Portuguese lot, they'll be on their side. So I think it might be the British core that are thinking, you know what, mate, we liked it when it was a Sus. Wan-Bissaka's another one, Dean Henderson. I think that they're the ones that are, because they're the ones that are not playing well as well. You know,
yeah.
so and all the fan base are looking at them thinking, bloody hell, you know, under Ollie, you were producing. Why Ralph now you're not producing? So
Well, just on Ronaldo though,
mm,
before we move on to what I say Harry Maguire, but
mm,
Ronaldo, are you on the side of he shouldn't have been signed, or are you on the side of maybe the team
mm,
should play more to his strengths? Because when you consider somebody of his talent with
mm,
his heading ability, he hasn't scored a headed goal in the Prem. That
mm.
would suggest that maybe the team isn't playing to his strengths. What do you say?
I'll be honest with you. I tweeted it. I think we should not have signed him purely because I think what United need to get to. I think this another transition of this where we don't really know what we're doing in terms of up front. I think for me, you know, when you look at Man City and you look at the fact that they didn't take Ronaldo and they now don't have a striker, but it's still playing the fluid football that Guardiola wants. I still personally think for me, you know, it's all about the club ethos. I think it's always short term thinking with Ronaldo, and I
Yeah,
think it was a commercial signing. Let's be honest with you, what he has given United as a commercial. You know, I don't know if you noticed, but you know, if you realize every post how much he gets paid,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and the fact that United can then bank on that, it's a win-win for them. I think in terms of mentality, yeah, brilliant. I love it. But in terms of the player he is, it was never going to be that player anymore that was running down the wing and whatnot. But at the same time, if he is there for 2 years now, can we buy a striker now for the next year? You know, Ronaldo is going to be on the bench, is he?
nah,
So,
nah.
again, United knew that when it was coming. You know what I mean? And that's why Martial's been left out. Cavani isn't happy as well. So, I just think for me, yeah, we've enjoyed the nostalgia. We've enjoyed it for a season, but now, yeah, I think I'm ready for to be serious now and have a fluid number 9 who gets about the pitch and links up play and gives us that kind of vocal point.
He's just on a different level though when it comes to when you talk about commercial, because when he gets subbed or he's on the bench, the camera pans more to Ronaldo than they do on the game.
Yeah,
Like it's
exactly.
absolutely mad. You see things on the bench that you just never usually see
Mm.
because the camera is always pointed towards him. So
There you go. You
it's
know what I
it's
mean?
all yeah, it's all mad. But Harry Maguire, I gotta touch on this guy because again, I think that's one of your
Mm.
problems too. But do you think that it's now just persisting with him because he costs so much money and they're gonna try and
Mm.
make it work no matter what?
Which was Maguire you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I think it is. I think the club are looking at it thinking, they spent this money, and it's more embarrassment. They want to make it right. They want to
yeah,
change the fans' perspective. They have got a lot of PR work for the football club. If I'm being
mhm,
honest, with you, personally, it started off the club well, but now it's been exposed because United have to play a different way of playing. They have to play on the front foot. They have to play, one, couple of yards further forward. It has to be, you know, a way where you have to be a complete defender, not just a defender that is good aerially, or is good, you know, in tight space to block things and whatnot. You have to be all round centre back. You
yeah,
guys run, your guys are very, very good technically. You've got to be all rounder now. I mean, them days of just defending are over now. It's
yeah.
sad
It's
to
done.
see.
It's
It's done,
done.
yeah.
Absolutely
So
done.
you've got to be very, very good in terms of technically. You've got to be pacey. You know what I mean? Like you have to be a full, complete defender, and that's the way it is. And I think Maguire now being caught out, because we are having to adapt and we are having to play a kind of a different style now, and he hasn't coped with it.
Well, I mean, in terms of your players as well, we're talking about mentalities and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on the players' apologies? Because from me personally, if Leeds players were to every time they did something wrong, miss a penalty, lose a game, and come out and give apologies. I get so sick of it. I'll
Mm,
be like, forget all the apologies. Just do your talking on the pitch.
mm,
How do you guys as fans feel about all these apologies, these PR
mm.
apologies that come out?
It's a joke. It's a joke, honestly, because at the end of the day, you do your talking on the pitch, and these lot haven't been doing the talking on the pitch. They haven't, so for me, you don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? It's like
Mm.
you come out of a 5-0 and they're talking about protest, Europa League final protest. It's like, the only process is on the pitch, man. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it's playing well. So I just think for me, like I said to you, it's too much. This new generation where I feel like they are protected now, more than ever. Back in the day, it was just kind of get on with it and get over it. Now players are looked after, psychologists. You know what I mean? So there are more things in the game now. You know what I mean? You can't be harsh on players anymore. You've got to give them time. So like I said to you, I think it's more mentality for me. You've got to have winning mentality. If you don't have that in your squad, I think it's a long way. To ever even lifting a trophy, let alone the big ones. It's mad.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And just touching on Ralph Rangnick as well, has he been everything you thought he would be, or you've been currently, slightly underwhelmed?
I love him. I think he's refreshing. I think he's straight to the point. He doesn't kind of fold for anyone. He doesn't take any slack for anyone, and that's what I like, man. He's very, very assertive. He knows what he wants. He knows how to tell people. You only go look at Ronaldo, Brentford. When the game was wrapped up, he took him off. He benched him against Burnley. He's authoritative, and I like that because at the end of the day, we've had a lot of times where managers come in and just like played into the players' hands and giving them what they wanted, and the demands haven't been there for the players. So it's refreshing, man, and I like it. And I think he's, for me, restoring a bit of pride now back in into Manchester United, because there hasn't been on this season. We've been poor for large
Yeah.
part of the season.
I mean, you mentioned being poor, so let's head into this game. Now,
Yeah,
I've heard you talk about Leeds before, so I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
yeah,
But
yeah. I you
you've
know what
had,
it is? I
you've
love
had a few
playing Leeds, man.
indifferent performances lately, but you are coming up against Leeds United, and I think it's fair to say that we've frozen up against you at both times at Old Trafford. We did well last year with the 0-0 at home. We had
Yeah.
adjusted the way we played by then, but we haven't done that so far this season. What is your expectation? What are your thoughts on Leeds United?
No, I think Leeds. They're always open, and I don't think they're going to change that. Bielsa is going to change that, whether you like it, whether the guys in the chat like it. He is a very, very, he's a maverick. He's someone who has his ways, has his style of play. But I think for me, where I'm kind of nervous about is the intensity. We have no intensity, absolutely none. And yes, we can say, we can pick Leeds off, and they won't be ready, and they'll play 1v1 defending and they'll make mistakes, But I just think for me, this is a very, very tricky game for us. The crowd is back as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's a massive difference. First time in how many years? 20 odd years. Man United fans are back at Elland Road. It'll be an absolutely crazy atmosphere. You know, and I think Leeds will be up for it. I think the fans will be up for it. I think the players, man, you got a couple of players that are born in Leeds as well. So these guys will know the rivalry, and I think I heard Bruno Fernandes talking about the rivalry and saying, "Oh, he's heard about it." Well, he will hear about it on the pitch. It will be. I think it'll be a physical game. It'll be intense, and I think that's where I worry about United. Leeds can say, "Well, their defender's been bad," but if you can get away with it, with winning the ball back quickly and winning the 50-50s, I think that's where the key game is. Start of the season, we just picked you off the park. We just
yeah,
picked you. You came 1v1 defending, and all we had to do was just, use the space at Old Trafford. And, the space at Old Trafford is a big, big pitch. So,
yeah, yeah.
will you've learned from your lessons? I don't know. But again, I just look at it and I think, Leeds will be up for it. I don't think they're going to take this one lightly. I really, really don't, man. And you know what, man? When you look at Leeds at home against the top teams, especially Liverpool, you had your chances. You know what I mean? Remember the start of the first half, you had your chances, didn't take them away, and obviously Liverpool sucker punched you. So I just think it depends on Bielsa and what he adopts in terms of tactics. If he sits off us, I think United can break them down and find the pass, Pogba, Bruno. If they go at us, I don't think we can cope, man, and that's the worry for me. intensity is going to be a massive part in this game.
Well, listen, I mean, from the Leeds side, I mean, I'll say this. The last couple of games have been a bit all over the place, if we're being completely truthful, especially the Everton one. I mean, that was just completely disappointing because you're talking about a team that is around where we are, and they haven't been doing too well, and we made them look amazing. And that's the bit of the worry. But what I will say is, you're right. You mentioned the crowd. I'm hoping, and this is when you know your team's a little bit muddied, when you're hoping that the crowd can make a difference. But I hope that the crowd can give it all that, because obviously last year there was no fans at that 0-0. Hopefully that some of your players would not have experienced such a close proximity to this kind of atmosphere.
I know.
I'll be honest, Saeed, I do worry for Cristiano if he scores and he does that soothing at a corner flag, because this crowd has already loved a few objects this season already. So you need to be briefed and say, listen, mate, if you score, go to the center. Just don't do it. But
well, you tell him then.
No, I can't tell him. You tell him, innit? But
well, I don't know. You might do it.
But if we start, but the thing is for me is, if we start like we did against Villa and Everton with the quality of your players, then it could be a long day. And that's the thing I'm really, really worried about. Like you said, it's about adjustment, and I need Bielsa to adjust in this game.
How's your home form been overall this season?
Well, it's been okay, but it's not been okay because we won 5 games all season. So
there you go.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. We need to make adjustments, in my opinion. And if we can do that, if we can stay compact, not get drawn out everywhere, because that is the problem of our man market system with the quality of players we got currently. We just get carved open, and that happened against Everton. So God knows what will happen against Man U. But we need to see tomorrow to see what happens with the team news. I think Stuart Dallas is going to be out. That's just my guess. I think Junior Firpo will be back.
That's the one for me where we can target Junior Firpo. I think he's bang average, to be honest with you.
Well, you see, you talk about that, but I think Dan James can go at Dallas.
Yeah, and they'll have a point to prove.
Yeah, he does. He does. I mean, for
me,
me,
have a point to prove. You know.
I mean, just for the chat. I mean, my team. This will not be what Bielsa will put out, but my team would be Meslier in goal, Ayling, Robin Koch, Pascal Struijk, and Junior Firpo at the back. And then we need to plug this midfield. I mean, plug it.
Yeah.
So I will go Shackleton, Lewis Bate, and Forshaw. 3 central midfielders.
Wow.
We listen. This whole open one, this 3-1-1-4-3 thing. Forget it.
What's happened to Phillips? He's still out, Phillips.
Yeah, he's still out. Yeah. So and then on the wings, I would have Dan James on the left, Rafinha on the right, and Gelhardt up front. I would have a natural striker up front. But that's just what.
Bamford back.
Who knows?
That's been the key. I think Phillips and Bamford being out has kind of made your season the way it is. They're the 2 key men. Obviously, Rafinha's in there as well, but he's been the one for me. Bamford, you missed the goals, haven't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, Saeed, there should have been another striker here, because he doesn't use Gelhardt when he should. But I mean, that's a whole other subject. But at the moment, we got Rafinha. I mean, it's been reported that he's stalled contract talks, which is obviously
we need a right winger after the other one's gone. You know.
Oh yeah. How about you?
How much do you guys want for Rafinha?
It's gonna be it's gotta be high. It's gotta be high. I'm thinking,
let's say 60 million.
It's gonna be from there, absolutely.
Because we need a right winger. We need a right winger. And the fact that we've given you a nice deal for Dan James, I think, you know.
A nice deal. You overcharged us, man.
That's one thing the Glazers are good at, man. They're good at their banking skills, man. You know what I mean? They're good at selling players.
Saeed, just know that if you had sold Dan James to Leicester, it would have been a 15 to 20 million deal easy. But because it was Leeds United, they pumped it up to 25 and 30 after add-ons. That's the only reason why.
Do you like Dan James? I think it's been refreshing for you guys, though.
Yeah. No, listen, I know you guys all laugh at and call him Meat James and all that, but
no. I've never disrespected Dan James. I think he's just not been the level at United, but I've never kind of disrespected him. I just thought he's just not the level required at United. You know, whether that's at Leeds, you know, that's a different story. You know, look at tapping Tomes in there. But listen, you worry about Conte leaving Spurs, mate. You know what I mean? Is that the real tapping Tomes?
You never know, do you, Saeed? You never know if it's going to be the real one or not, man. He's got so
Listen,
many fake accounts
Conte's
out
gonna
here
leave him, and he's gonna be dancing, doing a little boxing.
with his boxing gloves. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man. Listen, I think for me, like I said to you, we need Rafinha. But again, you'll struggle to keep hold of him. Bayern Munich will be in for him. A
you
lot of
know,
teams.
my guess for Rafinha, and I'm kind of getting resigned to losing now because his last few
Mm,
performances as well. I do think that the January window has affected him in terms of
mm,
we just didn't do anything. So you're
mm,
not adding any quality around him, and I do think that's been an effect on him.
mm,
And I actually think it will be PSG to go play with Neymar once Mbappe leaves.
wow. Mm.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that would be my ideal one. I don't want to see him
Rodrigo
do
against
another
Shaw
player.
will be very, very interesting because Shaw has been not been great, if I'm being honest with you. And that left hand side where Maguire is, Shaw and Maguire is the one where I think Leeds have to go and target. If they can
Yeah,
target them too, because they always, for me, they're always together, and they're like a double act. You know what I mean? And they're always offside together. They do everything together. So if you could target that side, that would be our kind of weakness. And obviously the midfield as well, in terms of McTominay being the six, he isn't a natural six. So that'll be the where I look at. But I think like I said to you, it all depends on the start. You know what I mean? Who wants it more? 50-50 battles. We've not been great, man. Brighton, did you see how Brighton played with us with 10
yeah,
men?
yeah,
We're
yeah,
not
yeah,
great 50-50s. You know what I mean? We still don't know how to play in certain moments. And I think for me, Leeds, this is the kind of result that could turn Leeds' season around. Seriously, man, this is the kind of result that could literally turns Leeds' season around because we need top four badly. We're at the top four now, but obviously Arsenal back in town now. Tottenham will hope to kind of revive their form. We need to win this. We desperately need to win this because our fixtures coming up are not great. Man City, Liverpool away, Tottenham at home, they're not great, man. So
mm,
we need to properly look at this game. I think it's going to be a mad game, man. 2 p.m. as well.
yeah,
Lunchtime kickoff. It's going to be bouncing. The crowd will be up for it. It's going to be interesting, man. I'm looking forward to it, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Same here. Even though the season hasn't been great, I always look forward to these games from when I was in school to now. There's always just that extra thing when it's Manchester United, and
Yeah.
and that's what it is for me. I want the players to show the not freeze up, but for me, they froze up at the games at Old Trafford. They need
Mm,
to play more like they did in the 0-0 last year in this game. I need them to batten down the hatches, no
mm,
gaps, just play with banks, flat banks, and
mm,
keep you out as long as possible
mm.
and try and hit you on the break with James Gilhart. He's not going to play, he's probably going to play Rodrigo, Mateus Click, the usual suspects, but yeah, I mean, listen, let's get into some score predictions, man. And in the chat, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. Let's get the score predictions in, people. Give me your score predictions. And Saeed, take it easy on us. Take it easy.
You know what? I'm going to give a different because obviously the big six is a big thing in it. So I'm very, very concerned about. A lot of people like be confident, but I'm not. I know the history. I know the rivalry. I'm from Manchester. You know what I mean? People might look at it and think, yeah, Leeds easy, but I know the history of Leeds. This is a massive, massive game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but Saeed, we don't have Viduka or Q no more, man. We don't have
no, but
those.
it's not though. The fans will be up for it. The fans will be up for it, man. But I think it will be a nervy 2-1 win. United to win 2-1. But again,
2-1.
2-1 United win. I think it'll be one of them games, last minute winner. Ronaldo maybe penalty. I think it'll be a tough game. I think Leeds will get the goal, and then they'll sit off us, and then we'll kind of take advantage.
Man,
Hopefully,
I don't know which team you've been watching for Leeds this season, but I would take that. I really would.
you'll
But
take a
now,
2-1.
listen. Well, I mean, my prediction is a little bit further out than that. But as I say, every time I predict a loss, please, my team, just prove me wrong. But from the way that we've set up so far this season,
Mm,
without any kind of modification or anything like that, and the way we've started the last two games,
mm,
if we do that against you, it's going to be a long day. So, I
mm,
mean, I've predicted 4-1 to Man United.
mm.
Um, but I hope I'm wrong. Obviously, of course, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, of
But
course.
it's up to Bielsa to change things, man,
Mm,
and make the tough decisions and play some players that have got some quality on the ball. instead of his old favourites, because that is
Mm.
injuries haven't helped, but that's also what's hindered us so far this season as well.
Yeah,
But I mean, there's a lot of fans in the chat that think that we're going to get something out. I'm with you guys.
you know what? I'd be confident, man. United are not the same United, and Leeds obviously not the same Leeds, but United are not the same United that you think they are, man. They don't play well, man. We got away with it at Brighton. We got away with it, man. I'll be real.
But this is it, Saeed. This is it though. When you're talking about Brighton and all these guys are much more better at setting up for games like Man United, whereas we've shown so far this season we're not. We haven't been good to set up again in these games. Brighton and everyone else, Burnley as well, they will make it difficult for you to get through. We just don't do that.
Maybe the fans be that extra voice. Maybe I don't know, because you got to realize, this is a Leeds. This is like a derby. You know what I mean? When you look at it, for Leeds, you don't have a Yorkshire derby, but this is a proper fierce derby. And when you deep it, you know what I mean? Form goes out the window in derbies, like they always say. And it's like, who's up for it on that day? Who is up for it and who is ready to battle? And I'm sorry, but United haven't been able to cope with intensity. The key word, intensity, because every time we've done it, we've just looked lethargic, and, the 10 men did help us. We got the goal, we got the second goal as well until the end. So I just think we'll have enough quality in terms of Paul Pogba and Sancho. Watch out for them two players, Pogba and Sancho. Sorry?
Yeah. Well, listen, Pogba's got 4 of his 7 assists against us this
Well, there
season.
You go. That day, man, he looked good against Leeds.
Remember Leeds tax, Saeed.
Leeds tax, well, you know what I mean? You have to do what's in front of you. You know what I mean? That day was just that was the highlight of the season that day, man. When you came in,
man.
You trashed up the whole of city centre in town, and then you thought you're gonna come to Leeds, the stadium, and then you got ripped up, mate. Ripped up, man. You know what? To be fair though, you were in the game at 1-1, and then after you just fell apart.
It was like 5 minutes ago. So I know, because it was the only watch long I've done on my channel, and it's funny because I do have people that want me to do more watch longs on here, but nah, because I'm self-aware side. I know that. You see how you've got on where get this guy out of it. I don't want to be that person on here, so I'm very self-aware, and the football hasn't been good so far this season. So I will do another one at some point. I definitely will, but I just need to be in the right frame of mind to do it. So, but listen, this James Reed one, I could absolutely see this happening to 2-1 Leeds, Dan James winner. I would absolutely go mental for that.
That would be crazy. That I think he'd actually like celebrate, you know what I mean? And rightly so. He should celebrate, because at the end of the day, we didn't treat him right. There was a lot of fans who kind of did treat him a bit harshly, in all honesty. But I think fair play to him, man. He's 23, 24 now. He's approaching what should be the best part of his career. He's still young, he's quick, he's tenacious. Dan James is an effective player if you can make him effective. And he scored goals. How many goals he's got now?
Well, the streets are saying he's better than Sancho, man, but I don't want to talk too much.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
But, Loki makes a point here. McTominay turns into Messi against us. He has done. It's been absolutely crazy to see
McTominay. McTominay could do. He could do. You never know, but nah, not in this game. I think he'll know about the rivalry, because he's a Manchester lad. But apart from that, mate, if you can squeeze him and press him, he isn't all that. But again, like I said, we might not play that way. We might play a full 2-3-1.
Second ball side as well. That's another thing that we've been missing out on, especially in the last couple of games. Getting that second ball in key areas, it just hasn't been there. But I'm hoping that my boys can prove me wrong. I want nothing more than that, and to see you stressed again, because that's always a highlight when I watch your video.
There you go, exactly.
But listen, people. I mean, look, we've gone 29 minutes. That's a good length for this preview. We give our score predictions. Listen, if you're watching the replay, put your score predictions in the comments. Everything else like that. Saeed, have you got anything to plug before we leave?
No, man, just keep pushing it in. You can find me on there, Saeed TV. And yeah, man, hopefully good luck to you guys, you know what I mean, and whatnot for the rest of the season. But I just hope we get the win and we keep moving for this top 4 race.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, listen, people, I'll be back on Sunday for match reaction. You know where we'll be. Straight after the game, I'll be here live and we'll all go through our thoughts about the game together. And until then, people, Peace out.
Peace.